Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Good evening, greetings, and welcome to a live presentation of Eckerd College basketball on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. The Eckerd College men's basketball team coming into the game at 4-3 on the season, 1-0 in Sunshine State Conference play, hosting their opponents from across the bay, the University of Tampa, 2-5 on the year, 0-1 in conference play, but 2-0 here inside the MacArthur Center at the Thanksgiving Classic last Friday and Saturday, with wins over Bemidji State and Francis Marion University. The Tritons only successful in defeating one of those two teams, as Bemidji State was able to score a Saturday night win at Eckerd's expense in a game where the Tritons were banged up and at times just seemingly not nearly as focused as they were the night before when they completely locked down Francis Marion defensively. Ryan Halstead and Nate March here with you as the teams are getting ready to hit the floor. And Ryan, the Tritons, it's just been very up and down for them here in the early portion of Brian Gillespie's head coaching tenure here, as the team is, some nights look so locked in on defense, in a flow, getting up and down the floor. And then other games like Our Lady of the Lake and Bemidji State, much choppier performances.
And you've seen, and that's one of the things Coach Gillespie has really harped on is the consistency defensively. They've got to do a better job finishing plays, holding teams to one shot, one and outs, and not getting beat off the dribble. Just real solid fundamental man defense. And on the flip side, though, what you're seeing is a different style that he's been bringing in with the up and down game. So offensively, you're seeing that they've been a little bit more crisper, a little bit higher offense, but defensively, I think that's going to be a key tonight.
Now we pause and honor our great nation with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. The national anthem concludes inside the MacArthur Center. It's time to meet the starting five for each of these teams. I'll start with the visiting University of Tampa Spartans, coached by Richard Schmidt, who has been at the helm for more than 30 years for the Spartans. And his starting lineup gets a boost tonight as Vincent Biffle, who missed the Thanksgiving Classic, is back in the starting lineup. The senior is in the backcourt, along with senior leading scorer Pat Bacon, who was as good as any player to step on the floor here last week in that tournament. Derek Felder is the starting point guard. He is a junior. And then up front, Brent Duncan, who played a very strong tournament despite struggling with foul trouble. And he is complemented up front by Martin Lakovich. And Ryan, why don't you give us the starting five for the Eckerd College Tritons?
At the point guard position, he's been an outstanding newcomer so far this year for the Tritons. He is a freshman guard out of Lincoln, Nebraska through Carrollwood Day School over in Tampa. It is number 3, Malcolm Whitlow. At the forward position, a senior from Sofia, Bulgaria. That is Kiko Stavrev. He comes via Weber State out of Utah. At the other guard position, a newcomer as well, but a junior from Toronto, Canada, out of Wilson State College, O'Shane Taylor Douglas. At the forward position, local product, Travis Bianco out of St. Petersburg High School. And in the post, another senior, number 25, Myron Higgins out of Ocala Vanguard High School. And you're seeing a couple things. They're scoring some points. Travis Bianco has been a steady player inside out. He can knock it from inside. Malcolm Whitlow has really done a great job scoring and showing his ability to handle the point guard duties and so forth like that. they're going to need some more consistency, though, around the glass. Rebounding, control the defensive glass, and not get beat off the dribble. And this is a team, Tampa, that traditionally likes to penetrate two-man game, and they usually have one or two scorers that really can fill it up. And so we'll see how the Tritons are able to handle that, especially with a guy like Vincent Biffle, who can certainly score.
Now, Ryan, this fact eluded me in my pregame preparation the last couple of years. It wasn't until the Thanksgiving Classic I found this out. Did you know that Richard Smith is a world-renowned aviculturist?
I did not know that.
He raises exotic birds and has more than 100 that he breeds at his home and has sold them to even Wayne Newton has actually bought birds from Richard Schmidt.
That does not surprise me. He is the dean, I would say, and the longest tenured coach now in the Sunshine State Conference. I said in my 1 year helping out with Coach Ryan and Coach Kendrick Wilson years ago, there's a great Richard Schmidt story. It's funny, he's got a former player that I've actually worked with also, Tyler Zacher, who is a former coach in Seminole High School basketball product. And, I chatted with him before the game, and I said, what's it like now as a coach compared to as a player? He goes, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier. So I guess those birds kind of are a calming presence for Coach Schmidt, because he certainly is one of the most theatrical coaches that I've had the pleasure of covering in my basketball career.
37 years and 30 winning seasons at Tampa for Coach Schmidt. The Tritons win the tip. They'll attack left to right wearing their steel and teal here at home. And Whitlow, too much heat, and turns it over to Bacon. And Lokovich, going the other way, immediately draws a foul on the Tritons as Whitlow trying to go screen and roll with Myron Hagens and just was completely off target.
And it's a good idea. You try to go a little bit. I thought he was going to throw a little nice touch pass with a look away. But instead, kind of a little bit too in good help side defense there by number 25, Pat Bacon. And, off to the way. And I think you could see this could be a track meet. This could be an up-and-down game and an odd way of making that first free throw right off the glass.
Lokovich goes off the glass. He played well in Tampa's 2 wins last week. Tampa, I mentioned, short-handed in those games, really played at a slow, deliberate half-court tempo and dragged 2 upper-pace teams down to their tempo. We'll see how they approach the Tritons tonight. Whitlow gets blocked. Felder got him. Jump ball, the arrow favors Tampa.
So first 2 possessions, you can see Tritons trying to get some action going to the basket, high screen or a dribble drive. And a good job by the Spartans handling it both times.
O'Shane Taylor-Douglas had a great bounce-back game on Friday against Francis Marion, then missed Saturday's game because of a turned ankle, and bodies got tangled up there. 4 players, 2 from each side, and the end result is a travel called against Tampa. 1-0 lead for the Spartans. Tampa's women overcame an 18-point deficit in our game earlier this evening to stun the Tritons 57-54. Here's Taylor Douglas, Pico Stavrev, and now Whitlow. First touch for Bianco. Now Taylor Douglas around the screen. Goes off the dribble, up and under on the reverse. That ankle looks just fine right there for a 2-1 lead.
Nice finish. Good job transferring the ball from one side of his body to the next. And he certainly has the athleticism. And once again, just trying to get a different feel coming brand new from, Toronto, Canada. It's the Sunshine State Conference is tough basketball. So Shane Taylor-Douglas still feeling things out a little bit here early in the season.
Bianco on the handoff to Whitlow, around the screen from Hagens. And Hagens is wide open under the basket. A kicked ball by Tampa keeps the pass from getting to him.
And you can see how well he handles the basketball. Malcolm Whitlow, the ball really stays close to his body and try to do a wraparound pass there. Almost got it through in a little kickball, but, he's just really been impressive so far. And Coach Chief and Coach Wilson, who was on the staff last year, really talked about what an important recruit he was during the recruiting process.
Taylor Douglas this time leaves it short. Ball loose on the floor. Tampa scoops it up. Bacon with it. Whitlow picks him up. Bacon spins back away. Stavrev has to switch on to him. And that's a mismatch for Stavrev. Bacon beats him to the baseline. Felder gives it up. 3 for Lokovich. Didn't see him attempt too many from out there over the weekend. He winds up airballing it into the hands of Myron Hagens.
Nice possession there defensively. Good closeout. Something we saw was a struggle against Our Lady of the Lake and, just getting beat off the dribble. And good fundamental defense there that last possession by the Tritons.
2-1 lead for Eckerd. Good to see Taylor Douglas asserting himself early. Turnover here by Eckerd as they are trying to get it into the post to Hagans and not having much luck with it so far. But Taylor Douglas only attempted 2 shots from the floor against Palm Beach Atlantic. He was, just you didn't even notice he was out there against Our Lady of the Lake. So he came back, really asserted himself against Francis Marion, and hopefully the absence in Saturday's night game doesn't deter him from staying aggressive, because the Tritons need an aggressive slasher like him to keep this offense well spaced.
And he's being left-handed gives him a different angle when he attacks, and that makes it really tough. That's a tough. Left-handed players have an advantage for sure, especially in a dominated, where the right hand can be dominated style. Most offenses will run on the right side and so forth. So getting him a chance to get going early with his slasher, his athletic ability, he's got great wingspan. That's going to be a good sign for Coach Gillespie.
2-1 lead for the Tritons with the ball. Bianco, pass tipped away from him. So it's been this game starting in fits and starts. Lots of out of bounds and whistles and stoppages, but only 1 foul called. Whitlow to trigger it in, baseline right. 17-16 to go in the half. Bianco with the catch, hands it off to Whitlow. Hagans thinks about the 3, and now he's stuck, but over-ambitious Vincent Biffle winds up putting a hand in Myron's face. Foul called.
And, Myron almost lost his balance there, and a good aggressive jump, and then you can see Tampa's trying to jump some of these screens and some of these, high post entry passes and really try to create some pressure. And that's one of the things the Tritons offenses ran off of, those screens off the high post, try and get some driving lanes going to the basket.
Stavrev right corner off the mark. Duncan the easy rebound.
And this is like that feeling out period. It's usually 4 or 5 minutes feeling out. Both teams trying to figure out what can work, where they have the advantage.
Shane Taylor Douglas called for a foul, his first, 2 on the team, and early entry for Phil Cirillo, who got the start in Taylor Douglas's absence on Saturday night. And he's another guy who had a really great performance on Friday, hitting threes and really being a 3-and-D player for the Tritons. He had more issues in extended minutes on Saturday. Duncan inside scores. Duncan didn't miss a shot from the floor in his 2 games here over the weekend.
He's got a solid body, great finish, warming up, watching him. You could just see some tremendous athleticism.
Whitlow with the miss. Hagans gets tied up by Lakovich and Duncan. This time the arrow favors Eckerd. Coach Gillespie lobbying for an over-the-back call. 3-2, Tampa in front. Whitlow looking for someone in the back door. Has to toss it out near midcourt to Stavrev.
And then Tampa's done a great job. They're just really causing some fits right now for the Tritons.
Hagans unloads from 3, rolls off, rebounded by Lakovich, who just wiped Biffle, his teammate, out, swinging elbows.
Right now, the Spartans are really kind of pushing the Tritons off the spots they want to get to in their offense, which is kind of just stagnated their offense.
Blocking foul against Myron Hagans as Lakovich drove the lane. And we are exactly 4 minutes in. That will bring us to the first media timeout. Slow start to this one. 3-2 Tampa. We'll step aside on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network.
I'm Jimmy. This is my definition of fresh since 1983.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Exactly 4 minutes gone by. Eckerd trailing 3-2 to the visiting Tampa Spartans, who are on a 2-game winning streak. Free throws coming for Lakovich on the foul by Hagens. First on him, third on the team.
And Radoncic enters the game, and he's been really a tremendous presence inside the post so far early on in the season.
He led the team in scoring against Francis Marion on Friday night with 19, after also leading the team against Our Lady of the Lake. But he was saddled with constant foul trouble. Offensive rebound by Biffle. Back-to-back misses the free throw line for Lakovich. So Radoncic has really developed his offensive game. Biffle short on the jumper. Rebound by Whitlow. We'll have to see if he can continue to develop with some of the finer decisions of keeping himself on the floor for the Tritons.
And he's got to be able to, because he provides such a presence and such a nice post presence.
Misses the hook shot there. And Whitlow goes back to get it. Deflected out by Tampa. 7 to shoot. Clock did not reset. The ball did not hit rim. But a foul on Tampa is going to buy the Tritons some more time.
And Coach Schmidt not happy with the call.
Foul was on Lakovich, his first.
And this is a pretty veteran Sunshine State crew here. John Antonisov, he's been here for several years, and that's one of the things you see about the quality of officiating is a lot of these refs end up going on to Division I and playing and reffing, big time Division I. You've seen a lot of that over the years, and this conference, just because of the competitiveness, they bring a lot of good components top to bottom, whether it's the teams but also the officiating.
Long two for Felder, no. Cirillo, a strong rebound. I've really liked watching Cirillo play this season. Good to have him back. Radoncic down the lane, draws a foul.
And that was similar action that they've had in the first couple minutes of the game. One trying to get Hagens. That time, though, a nice immediate roll. And that time Radoncic, set up for the screen. And then once Malcolm gets past and he has that driving lane, he just a quick dive to the basket. And good standard high post two-man action there.
Free throw good, ends a scoreless drought of more than 4 minutes for the Tritons. Taylor Douglas and Stavrev back in. Second free throw off the mark. And so the slow offensive start for both sides continues. Combined 2 of 11 from the floor. Biffle. Felder guarded by Taylor Douglas, out beyond the arc between the circles. Double team on Biffle. Comes back to him, had a step on Bianco, curls back left, draws the foul. Shot is short, but 2 free throws coming.
Some explosiveness there, just really able to get into Travis there. And Travis did a great job cutting off, but then the change of direction and change of speed. I mean, great offensive players are able to do both of those things and do it well. Change of direction, change of speed. And Biffle, with some explosiveness, got right into it, but very awkward release on the free throw line.
Biffle off the mark on the first free throw. Tampa is just 1 of 5 from the line.
And this is one of those things where so far the out-of-conference games you've seen Tritons be able to get up and down a little bit, score into the 80s, have a high. And when you get in the Sunshine State Conference and these teams are well scouted, well aware, and especially when the fact that they played so quickly after the Thanksgiving tournament where they obviously both teams were here all weekend.
And stolen pass here. Felder in, finger rolls it up and in as he stepped in front of Taylor Douglas for the steal. 5-3 lead for Tampa. Whitlow getting an early breather after he played 40 minutes in the Tritons' last game.
And a good job fronting by Duncan on the poster for Radoncic. Radoncic trying to get low. A good hedge.
Pass on the baseline. Stavrev, ugly miss up onto the top of the backboard from the baseline.
And they're just not in rhythm right now. Only 3 points in a 6-minute stretch, and no field goals in the last 5 minutes, and just Tritons are not getting much going offensively.
Whitlow and Hagens back to the scorer's table as Coach Goluski grasping for a lineup that can find the net right now. Radoncic hedging there on the screen by Duncan, able to recover to him. Long two. That's off the mark, but Bacon able to tap the offensive rebound briefly, but Stavrev cleans it up for Eckerd.
Nice pass, but great.
Inside, Radoncic rings the bell.
On that last play, Cirillo, I mean, they almost gave up an offensive rebound. Cirillo stayed in the play. Oh, Shane Taylor-Douglas, right before making great play, he's got to get into that play offensively. I mean, defensively, and try to make himself a presence and rebound as well. That time he closed out okay, but then just kind of watched while Cirillo kept that play alive and was able to corral the, poke that ball to get the Tritons a chance.
Duncan faces up. Radoncic knocks the ball into the cheerleaders. Stavrev coming out for Hagens. And Whitlow will replace Bianco. So going to be a bit of a small lineup here. Hagens and 4 guards. Or no, Radoncic stayed on. Never mind. Radoncic stayed on. Stavrev went off for Hagens. So 2 big guys, 3-guard lineup. Cirillo guarding Bacon, the dynamite scorer. And Bacon didn't get it off. Wave it off.
And obviously, Nate, you saw these 2 teams play, so you kind of knew a little bit better that this was going to be a kind of a grind it out. Mm-hmm. And, I just thought that with the Tritons trying to play a faster style that, the Tampa is capable. We've seen them in the past be able to play that up and down, but right now
I thought the same thing when Bemidji State and Tampa met up, but it really seems like Tampa is focused on just dragging people, into a gritty defensive battle.
And they're doing a good job of it right now, and especially with just jumping screens defensively. And I do wonder, too, this is the first time.
Hagens, left corner, all by himself. 3 in and out, but Radoncic gets it back and scores.
That's a great putback. But as I was saying, I wonder if this has a fact to do that Coach Schmidt has brought on some more coaches. In the past, you've seen it just be pretty much a 2-man show. And, I always think that those assistant coaches play such a valuable role, especially when it comes to individualized development, and getting them in the gym, but also coaching away from the basketball, especially a guy who will be in your face like Coach Schmidt. And the fact that he's 3 other coaches now, you wonder if this is able for them to get a little bit more focused coaching, allow them to kind of hear what he's saying, but also get the love from some of the assistants and really kind of, they're playing pretty well right now.
11:46 to go. We'll take a short break with Eckerd leading 7-5 on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. .46 to go, first half. Tritons leading 7-5 in what has been a difficult game offensively so far for each side.
A little bit different than what we saw from Our Lady of the Lake the last time that was a pretty clean offensive game. And here, this is a dogfight right now.
Bianco, Tampa is switching everything right now on screens. Higgins gets blocked by Lakovic.
And that's just a great defensive, by Lakovic. I mean, he just played solid fundamental, and then just because of that was able to get a shot block. So many times shot blockers take themselves out of position because they're raising in their stance, they're jumping at ball fakes.
Baker stuck out there, closely guarded by Bianco. Gets saved at the last second by Felder. Bacon guarded by Taylor Douglas. Hagen stays to help. 4 to shoot, 3 to shoot. Bacon, long 2, challenge shot, off the mark. Bianco with the board.
Well, this game right now is on pace to be in the 40s. Just both teams just really forcing tough shots.
Radoncic enters into the post for Higgins. And Bianco with an off-ball cut. Good find by Myron Higgins.
And that's
is 9-5.
Almost a little bit too close, you think, in that pass. And Myron had some advantage there, but, nice job by Travis slipping in underneath. The defender getting caught looking at both, not seeing both man and ball, just got caught watching ball. And that might have been the easiest shot we've seen from both teams all game outside of the transition layup.
Bacon hangs, tosses out to Baker in the corner, back to Bacon, stuck under the basket, turns it over, trying to shovel it off to Duncan, who was blanketed by Radoncic.
And you look at it, that was, good job cutting off baseline, good rotation on the backside. And Coach Gillespie challenging his guys, saying we've got to get better defensively. And so far, he's done that. His team has done that, answering the call.
Whitlow, Myron Higgins, Lakovic up on him. Higgins tries to back him in, look away pass out to Taylor Douglas midway through the clock. Look away bounce pass with the right hand. Radoncic misses the short jumper. And Brent Duncan with the rebound for Tampa.
It's a good looking pass there by Taylor Douglas.
Biffle, offensive foul. That's 2 on Biffle. And Baker back in immediately. Interesting that Jacob Harris, who got the 2 starts with Biffle out, hasn't even been one of the first guys off the bench so far for Tampa.
And good job by Radoncic. Just, get into the spot. Coach Schmidt saying he was moving or either in the restricted, but I thought it was a good call. Just Radoncic was in there, and you can be moving as long as you've got the defensive position.
Travel called against Whitlow as he was kicking out for Bianco. 9:22 to go, 9-5, Eckerd leading.
And this could be a good test for the Tritons. They know that they've got the capability of scoring, but can they really, get into a dogfight, grind it out type game and still be successful?
Higgins with a steal out top, cruising in against Lakovic, and scores through some contact.
And I tell you, that what I think opened that up is the change of speed. He really did a good job gathering himself and then protecting his body. Not bad defense at all, but a really tough finish. Good job by Myron Higgins.
Lakovic out to Bacon, clean look, missed the 3. An offensive board, Felder goes in and gets the lay-in.
And a tough break there. They all kind of got out to the races trying to get another easy shot because they haven't been very easy, and good finish there.
11-7. Kick out Bianco, all kinds of space. Swishes the 3.
And I really love what O'Shane Taylor Douglas is doing. A great drive, and then just on his left side, it's an easy pass for him.
14-7, Eckerd in front. Bacon around Duncan's screen. Lakovic. Everything on the perimeter right now for Tampa. They can't get it to the rim. Bacon is double teamed and asks for timeout. And that'll be extended into a media timeout. 7:58 to go in the first half. 14-7, Eckerd leading. You're watching the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. 7:58 to go first half. Eckerd doubling up Tampa, 14-7. Spartans using a timeout to preserve possession with just 6 seconds left to shoot. And Bacon might have to gun one up here. Cirillo right on him, pokes at the ball. Bacon able to can it with Cirillo right up on him.
And that's a big bucket there. The Spartans were struggling. 5 turnovers in the last 5 minutes. Good job finishing that possession.
Bianco short on a step-in jumper. Bacon, see if that first shot gets him going. Curls around. Gives it off to Baker. Vlahovic, drive by Bacon. In a crowd, forces up a shot and draws a blocking foul.
Both teams trying to get stuff going to the basket. You can see that they're trying to attack, and we'll see how well the free throw line becomes a factor, especially when they're struggling so much. Can they attack the basket and draw the fouls to try to give them easy opportunities, because nothing's been easy so far. But Tampa so far 1 of 6 from the line, not very effective taking advantage of the free throw line.
2 fouls now on Myron Hagens. And Coach Goluski frustrated. He's trying to decide how to approach this. He's going to send Stavrev back in.
And this is where there is a little bit of a thin front line for the Tritons. You know, Daniel Gonzalez has played a little bit this year, but you know, Myron's such an important factor in getting him minutes, and Radoncic as well. But it's kind of like a two, you know, they can play together, but that's also one of where they'll swap each other out, and Kiko's got to come up and be a presence here.
Stavrev with a look from straight on. Off the mark, and Tampa has the basketball down by 2. Felder gives it off Bacon. Cirillo tried to strip him from behind, and Bacon, just an easy foul there as he's able to catch Stavrev giving ground. And that's the
difference. And that's the difference between that play that Coach Schmidt was complaining about with Radoncic drawing the foul, and that play right there. Stavrev giving up ground, kind of sliding to his left as he takes the contact, whereas Radoncic is just kind of backpedaling. He has, you know, his shoulders square, and that's what we were saying. The rule changed a few years ago where you don't have to necessarily be stopped and take the charge. You can be moving as long as you're in the, you know, in the shoulders. And that time, Stavrev got beat.
1 of 2 at the free throw line. 14-13, Eckerd in front. Whitlow comes up the far side of the court. Taylor Douglas waiting to check back in. Leaning jumper for Whitlow, won't go. Bacon driving at Whitlow, pulls up, misses the jumper. Bianco a strong board. Sometimes Tampa's offense becomes a little bit too much of some hero ball from Bacon. We've seen that the last couple possessions. Cirillo puts up the triple. He's short. Bianco taps the rebound, and it goes over to Tampa out of bounds.
This is going to be a back and forth affair. It's going to be low scoring. I think right now it could be first team to 60 with the way that this is going. There has just not been a rhythm that either team has been able to really get into offensively. But on the other hand, that's a rhythm that they're both doing defensively. Both are really causing problems. Both teams are really doing a great job in help side, talking and communicating, getting out on screens, hedging strong. And so there's nothing been easy at all for either team.
Bullet pass to Baker. Southpaw stroke, hits the 3. He was all alone in the right corner.
And that time the defense got sucked in a little bit, and they swung a little backside screen and opened it up for Baker, and that's one of the easiest shots that they've had tonight.
Bianco will go to the free throw line to try to end a 9-0 Tampa run.
So out of that timeout, you know, you win in segments, and Tampa really answered that well. You know, 9-0 run, it was 14-7, and then they answered it, and they answered it with a couple nice sets that they ran, little wrinkles, especially that backside. When the team's helping out so well, setting those back screens or flare screens can really open up some perimeter shooting, or a skip pass that opens up a driving lane.
Daniel Gonzalez ready to check in for the Tritons. And seems to be some questions about potential moisture in the lane. Bianco, too strong on the first free throw. And so now Higgins and Radonchik are both out. We'll see how Daniel Gonzalez does manning the middle. He performed pretty well on Saturday when forced into action.
And this is going to be a test. I mean, this is how you earn minutes. This is a big-time opportunity, conference game early in the season, but this is how you do it. Look at that hustle by Cirillo.
Cirillo wound up being the last one to touch it, but yeah, great hustle play, and that's what he brings. Again, he is that prototypical 3-and-D guy. He can knock down the open triple. Isn't a great ball handler yet, but I mean, he just leaves it on the floor defensively and in the rebounding game. And
you need a spark plug. I mean, there's been other players that I could easily say over the course of broadcasting. You know, Alex Bodney. You know, the Wayne Sears, Blake Morrow when he was here a couple years ago, just those 3-and-D guys, just spark plugs that really play hard, get things done, and can knock down those shots for you.
Bacon able to hit the three as Cirillo was screened off by Baker.
A little bit of a run, back-to-back threes. How are the Tritons going to handle this?
Turnaround jumper by Whitlow. Too strong. 5-point lead for Tampa and the basketball. They're looking to push this time. And nearly a steal by Whitlow out top. Felder on the drive. A wild pass. Bacon can't catch it cleanly, but Bacon's been switched onto by Gonzalez. He's going to back up and call for a clear out. Gonzalez able to hold his ground. Tampa settles for a Felder three.
And if you're Coach Schmidt, you got to be frustrated with it. You had the matchup you wanted. Open up the driving lane. Good job by Daniel Gonzalez forcing, and then they fired up a three. Not a very good shot, I think, on that situation.
Gonzalez tries the three, and he is fouled shooting the three-pointer. And he will try and end a 12-0 Tampa run.
You just can't foul a jump shooter. I mean, I think that if
I think Tampa was so surprised by that shot.
I mean, it was weird because he got up in the air, but he's leaning so far in. I mean, he jumped up and he jumped in, but he probably covered about 4 feet on that jump. He was behind the three-point line, and it's kind of a collision there trying to block it, and then momentum's going opposite directions.
First free throw good for Gonzalez, cuts the lead to 4. Second is good as well.
Say if they're going to call it a lane violation, he's getting there so close, kind of leaning. His shot selection, that's how he shot the last one.
Able to knock down all three.
So big-time job there by Gonzalez. I mean, that kind of stopped the bleeding there. Tampa kind of getting some momentum with a couple 3 points and extending a 12-0 run.
Lakovic used his dribble up there. And Bacon, I think, double dribbled.
He just stepped on the line, but there's no official that got there to see it.
Bacon tried the fake behind the back pass and got stripped. Whitlow with a bullet to Cirillo in the corner. A three to put Eckerd back in front, 20-19.
That's a great pass. I mean, cross court, one-handed on a dime. Great pass and a great finish by Cirillo.
Felder against Whitlow. Had to be a travel there. He took an extra step, and then Tampa winds up fouling Bianco. That'll be a 1-and-1 at the other end after the media timeout. 3:30 to go. Eckerd in front, and free throws coming when we return on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network.
So, Audrey, such a nice day. So warm today.
It's so beautiful.
So, how are your classes going?
Good. Are you ready for the test?
Aiming for C+, but I think I'll go in there.
I keep it close to the test.
Yeah.
I'm picking 70.
70. Wow.
I'm Jimmy. This is my definition of fresh since 1983.
.30 to go, first half, 20-19. Eckerd in front in a low-scoring battle. Travis Bianco shooting a 1-1. Made the front end. Tritons have answered a 12-0 run with a 7-0 run of their own.
And that's, as you're a young team, young coach trying to figure out new things, I mean, that's a good way of answering a very nice job, and they're able to get some steals. Now you see a 2-2-1 press and see if there's a way they can put themselves in position to get some easy baskets.
Jacob Harris, he was blocked. The arrow favors Tampa.
So be underneath and see how they handle the underneath.
Doncic back in, Gonzalez out, so Gonzalez able to provide some valuable minutes there with Hagens in foul trouble and Radoncic needing a breather.
And that's how you earn more playing time. I mean, you're able to provide a little bit of minutes. You made some positive plays, did a great job defensively, knocked down 3 free throws. Good job by Daniel Gonzalez.
Bacon, Cirillo picks him up.
And just good technique. See how low he is. Good wide body, good stance.
Drive to the basket, blocking foul on the hard take by Lakovic.
I think not only was obviously moving, but I don't know if he cleared that, and a good solid take there by Lakovic. And I like the aggressive play by Tampa. You're struggling, you kind of get a little bit of a run, but then you give up a run and you attack the basket, and now you're in the bonus, and it's obviously a 2-shot foul, but when you're struggling from the floor like both teams are, getting to the free throw line is huge, but obviously Tampa has not been very good from the free throw line tonight.
Lakovic now 1 of 5. As a team, they are 4 of 11. Dante Love in for the first time. Gives Taylor Douglas a break as he has 2 fouls on him now. Second free throw good. Doncic screens for Whitlow.
High screen.
Bianco, short, and Cirillo sneaks in to clean it up.
That's a tough block out assignment. Long shot, and he airballs it. You're expecting the ball to go somewhere else, and Cirillo's hustle, and a good job anticipating where that ball would end up. So nice play, but those are some of the toughest rebounds you got to have.
Offensive foul against the Spartans.
And there you see Cirillo. Great play there. Cirillo gets the charge after a great offensive rebound putback, and once again, some solid minutes. The Tritons were a little bit on the ropes there early on. Early on after that 8-minute media timeout, and they gathered themselves and have really finished out so far this half. And try to get up to 30. After struggling so far out of the, struggling pretty good out of the gate, that's a pretty good job finishing.
Whitlow with an authoritative take.
And that's just getting beat. Whitlow is able to beat his defender off the dribble. Swenson just not quick enough for him, and once again, team getting to the line, giving themselves easier opportunities.
First free throw good for Whitlow.
You see the difference there. 7 missed free throws for Tampa. Tritons are doing a good job shooting 70%, 7 of 10. They're only missed 3. And now all of a sudden those little things in a grind out, type of matchup make a big deal.
Both free throws good. 26-20.
And at the time, too, Coach Gillespie's been able to stretch his bench a little bit and get some minutes for players and build a lead, which is a good sign.
Baker trying to buy the foul call there. And I believe the lead official, as Bianco can't quite finish here, Radoncic, offensive foul. I believe that that Baker was warned for flopping there, which we did see the one shot flopping technical enforced during, I believe it was the Eckerd-Francis Marion game on Friday night. It was one of the two Eckerd games. I remember Kendrick and I were doing the game together, and the officials blew a dead ball flop warning, and then one of the shooters for, again, I think it was Francis Marion, left his leg out and flopped back and was called for a one-shot penalty.
And you can see they're explaining it right now, and that's one of the things that, we've seen a little bit more of that creeping into the game, especially on the NBA side. You've got to have the right to land as a jump shooter, but you started to see with some of the way that the game has evolved to the three-point perimeter shot, where you're throwing hips out, you're throwing and trying to force the contact, and it's a nice way of cleaning it up because, obviously they got to have a right to land, but you can't act and draw it, just like you don't like the flops on contact driving to the basket.
Lokovich just got to shoot 2 free throws because Radoncic was called for a rebounding foul, not an offensive one. A defensive foul at the other end will give Radoncic a chance for a 3-point play. His offensive game has just developed so much over the last few years.
And it has, and he uses his body so well. He's such a physical player that it's draining. I mean, when you're getting hit constantly in the post over and over again, that wears on you, and it also builds frustration. And Doncic is, you're absolutely right. He has been a bright spot early on, coming off the bench and showing some senior leadership.
Free throw good. 3-point play completed, and the lead is back to 7 for Eckerd.
And this is a good job defensively. Trians came out 2-2-1, kind of gave them a different look, and they've really handled the Spartans after that 12-0 run. Only 3 points given up in about a 4.5-minute stretch.
Bacon gives it up. Baker closed out on quickly by Cirillo, but off the dribble. Foul, and this may be the second on Radoncic.
And that's when he's leaving his feet. Once again, that's one of the things that he wants to be a shot blocker sometimes. If he just stays on the ground, he forces him to move and kind of get off balance. But by jumping, he opens up himself to drawing that contact.
Baker swishes the first free throw. Brendan Baker from Louisville, Texas.
So free throws are the only points the Trojans have been able to muster here in the last 4 minutes.
Biffle has not returned since his second foul. Biffle and Baker, of course, Biffle and Bacon were high school teammates out of Indianapolis. They're the dynamic scoring duo, but Biffle missed the last 2 games for Tampa and has been saddled with foul trouble in this one.
And Daniel Gonzalez off the bench again with a big, didn't quite get the rebound, but he drew a foul, and now opportunity for a 2-shot bonus. Coach Gillespie's got to like that, and that's how we said it. You earn more playing time, making a positive contribution.
Free throw good. 4-4 at the free throw line doesn't hurt either.
And I mean, give credit to the bench players and those reserves. They've really been able to stretch and extend the game, get some minutes for the Tritons with some foul trouble.
30-23, Eckerd leading, 1:20 to go in the half. Open in the corner, 3 buried by Harris.
And too much, help side defense, open up a drive and kick.
Whitlow tries to answer with a 3. Gonzalez the offensive rebound, but he traveled on the kick out.
Good action. I mean, he's just really a lot of energy, some good activity around the basket.
He brings a lot of energy, but that was one thing I noticed in his time on Saturday. He's got kind of bouncy feet, even when he has the ball in his hands. And that, sort of, even sometimes when he doesn't actually move the pivot foot. You know, that bouncing, the officials are a little more prone to see it. And
you kind of see that. You see it in his movements. You also see it like when he's shooting as well. So I think that's a great description that you just provided for Daniel, and he's got to come under control.
Three-pointer Harris, back-to-back triples. He has exceeded his scoring output from his 2 starts over the weekend and has pulled Tampa back within 1. 30-second timeout called with 32.3 seconds to go before the intermission.
Well, both teams were able to get up to 30. You said it was looking like it could. They'd be up by 3 right now. And looking at the other stats, the Tritons have done a good job rebounding the basketball, but forcing, some turnovers, but just a really tough, struggle offensively for both teams, just shooting 8 of 20 for the Spartans, 9 of 26 for, so we'll see what both coaches try to draw up in the halftime to try to open up some opportunities.
Cirillo, Whitlow takes a glance at the clock. 3 second, not quite 3 full second difference. Shot clock to game clock. 10 seconds to shoot. Bianco goes behind the back, steps back into a 17-footer, gets it to fall. Tampa has to hurry. They can get one more shot to try and tie it before half. And Bacon just got it off, but he had a bobble in there and wasn't able to gather. Leaves the shot short.
And a good job by staying aware after that nice shot by Travis to force him. And in that situation, you got to turn the offensive player. If you turn them twice, that's time off the clock. They were able to get a deflection. So good job not just thinking that they had scored when there was 4 seconds and they not giving a clean look to Tampa. But not the cleanest offensive game for either team, but some good defense, and both teams showed some stretches where they made some nice plays to open up the offensive opportunities for the Tritons. They got some breakout fast break transition. For the Spartans, it was a couple 3-point shots here in the last 8-minute stretch, including the last 2, especially with some back screen action, forcing the help side into the lane and then screening it to preventing it from getting out to the perimeter.
32-29, Eckerd leads at the intermission. Tritons being led by 9 points and 8 rebounds from Travis Bianco. Pat Bacon has 9 points to lead Tampa. We'll step aside for halftime on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network.
So, Audrey,
Kayla.
such a nice day. So warm today.
It's so beautiful.
So how are your classes going?
Good. Are you ready for the test?
Aiming for C++, but I think I'll go in there.
I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
I'm picking 70.
70. Wow.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Choosing a university that's right for you. It's the biggest choice you'll ever make in life. At Barry University, we know that. Barry's one of the oldest and largest universities in South Florida, with over 100 bachelor's, master's, and doctoral programs. Our small class sizes on our 122-acre campus provides the ideal learning environment for you and our NCAA championship teams. Remember, you're not just going to a university, you're going a lot farther in life. So choose Barry University and live a Barry life.
So, Audrey,
Kayla.
such a nice day. So warm today.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
So how are your classes going?
Good. Are you ready for the test?
Aiming for C+, but I think I'll get it.
I can't wait to go.
Yeah.
Picking 7.
70.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Choosing a university that's right for you. It's the biggest choice you'll ever make in life. At Barry University, we know that. Barry's one of the oldest and largest universities in South Florida, with over 100 bachelor's, master's, and doctoral programs. Our small class sizes on our 122-acre campus provides the ideal learning environment for you and our NCAA championship teams. Remember, you're not just going to a university, you're going a lot farther in life. So choose Barry University and live a Barry life.
So, Audrey,
Kayla.
such a nice day. So warm today.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
So how are your classes going?
Good. Are you ready for the test?
Aiming for C+, but I think I'll get it.
I can't wait to go.
Yeah.
Picking 7.
70.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Choosing a university that's right for you. It's the biggest choice you'll ever make in life. At Barry University, we know that. Barry's one of the oldest and largest universities in South Florida, with over 100 bachelor's, master's, and doctoral programs. Our small class sizes on our 122-acre campus provides the ideal learning environment for you and our NCAA championship teams. Remember, you're not just going to a university, you're going a lot farther in life. So choose Barry University and live a Barry life.
So, Audrey,
Kayla.
such a nice day. So warm today.
It's so beautiful.
So, how are your classes going?
Good. Are you ready for the test?
Aiming for C++, but I think I'll get it.
I can't be close to
Yeah.
Picking 7.
7. Wow.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Choosing a university that's right for you. It's the biggest choice you'll ever make in life. At Barry University, we know that. Barry's one of the oldest and largest universities in South Florida, with over 100 bachelor's, master's, and doctoral programs. Our small class sizes on our 122-acre campus provides the ideal learning environment for you and our NCAA championship teams. Remember, you're not just going to a university, you're going a lot farther in life. So choose Barry University and live a Barry life.
So, Audrey,
Kayla.
such a nice day. So warm today.
It's so beautiful.
So, how are your classes going?
Good. Are you ready for the test?
Aiming for C++, but I think I'll get it.
I can't be close to
Yeah.
at the half. Eckerd leads Tampa 32-29. Ryan Halstead, Nate March here with you on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network, approaching the start of the second half. Ryan, we saw kind of a back and forth first half of action between these two teams. Tampa had a lead as high as 5. Eckerd got up as high as 7. Really was a game of runs, but the one consistent was both teams were really balling on defense.
Yeah, just good rotation. Both teams, especially with you see how they're guarding screens. Both teams like to screen a lot, especially the Eckerd off the high screen and pick and roll for the Spartans. And the hedging is just outstanding. The help side defense, the talking, the communicating. And that's one of the things that Coach Gillespie challenged, and you said it last weekend, that this is kind of the grind and grinded out style that Coach Schmidt has put in place this year. And it's going to be interesting to see. 8 points could be, if a team gets up 8, that could be a huge difference maker for them.
Eckerd starts with the basketball, going left to right in the steel and teal. Tampa in their reds. And miscommunication right away as Stavrov ran away from Bianco's pass.
And Coach Gillespie just has nothing really to say there, just so frustrated because, once again, though, but it starts with the Spartans pushing the Tritons off of their spots. They run their offense, it's supposed to get in certain spots on the floor, and they're about 4 or 5 feet off and wider, and then those cuts aren't exactly, those passes aren't where they practiced. Great hedge there.
In the corner, Bacon shows the basketball. He's stuck, doesn't have his dribble. Felder going to have to gun it up, challenged by Whitlow. Felder gets his own rebound in the corner and throws it back out to midcourt.
2 really good defensive possessions. This time the Spartans are able to get an offensive rebound, but both teams just really making it tough.
Bacon got stuck in the air, whips it out to Felder. Brent Duncan spins in and scores. He is so nifty around the basket.
Just solid body, good build. He's hit the weight room, and he's just really under control.
Inside to Hagens, working against Duncan. Tries to hit a cutting Taylor Douglas. Ball knocked out by Tampa.
Just watch how the Tritons are trying to get to the elbow, and that high screen's coming up about where the three-point line is. Then there's a hedge, and that pushes them out a little bit further. And that can really disrupt the rhythm of where the offense is. Teams so many times in practice are replicating 5-on-0. Just to get into the flow of their offense, 4-on-0, 5-on-0, and then you throw a defense out there. The Spartans have done a good job scouting and really kind of disrupting the flow for the Tritons all night.
Entry into Stavrov, kicks to Bianco, left corner, give him 3.
And that's a nice play, inside out. First opportunity, they really were able to get the ball that deep. In that type of, offensive sequence. So nice inside out, and that drew Travis's defender inside the paint, and it's an easy pass, easy knockdown shot.
3 for Lakovic, does not get the roll. 35-31, Eckerd in front. Taylor Douglas handling the basketball, guarded by Bacon. Stavrov gets inside position and easy lay-in.
And that's one of the best fundamental moves we've seen by Kiko Stavrov. He's held the screen, nice open up on his bottom pivot, and a nice job there. So many times, that pick and roll comes down to your footwork and your ability to pivot off both feet.
6-point lead for the Tritons. Long baseline jumper. Bianco may have gotten a piece. Now he's running the floor. In for the lay-in.
Great pass, once again, on a dime, straight chest to chest, and that's not an easy thing to do. It takes a lot of strength and good wrist action, and then a great one-dribble finish there by Travis. No fear, just went right up above the rim, and a good run there to start the half for the Tritons. 7-0 run.
30-second timeout extended to a media timeout with 17:21 to go. 8-point lead for Eckerd. We'll step aside on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa. This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Tampa with the basketball, 17:21 to go in the game. Eckerd enjoying an 8-point lead, 39-31.
So those last few possessions Trojans have had to start with a stop and then and they're still running their lanes and still trying to get out on the perimeter, on the fast break. And it's starting because of defense. And when you are struggling offensively, you hold down to your defensive principles, and we've seen it so many years prior to this season. You can still generate offense if you're just holding and doing what you're supposed to do defensively. And Coach Gillespie's got to really like this type of effort he's seen so far from his group.
Bacon guarded by Taylor Douglas.
Once again, deep in the shot clock, just nothing flowing.
Lokovic able to find Bacon down the lane for the floater. Tampa salvages something out of nothing.
And that's right, and that's exactly, it should have been a steal. Couldn't quite get it, and then a nice finish there by Bacon over the outstretched arms. Nice touch. That's not an easy shot with a floater in the lane like that.
Stavrev looking for Bianco on the alley-oop.
And that's just a great pass, and Myron sees that the defender's head is not seeing the ball, and you don't see the ball, you're beat. Even if you're playing good defense, and just a great finish there.
Felder, left corner, air ball. Myron Hagens with the rebound for Eckerd. 8-point lead and the ball for the Tritons. Bianco starting to cook. He's got 16 points. Whitlow to Bianco. Behind the back to Whitlow. 8 to shoot. Bianco able to draw a foul.
Nice job by Travis starting to take some reins, some leadership reins, and really try to provide some offensive punch there. 6 of 9 from the floor, so a very highly efficient offensive game there. And I was going to say, not only has he done that, but he's got 9 rebounds, and he's been a presence all night around the defensive glass. A really nice job there.
15:55 to go. We'll take a break on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
$15:55 to go. Eckerd leading and with the basketball at the Tampa end. Whitlow inbounding, baseline right. Bounces it in for Hagens, and it's not a bounce call on the Tritons.
And a frustrating play. They executed that out of bounds play so nicely. Set up 2 screens to get Myron Hagens free, and The bounce pass hit the out of bounds first. And that could have been another that put this up to 10 points.
Biffle partially blocked, trying to shoot over Myron Higgins.
And the energy level is still at a high level right now.
Taylor Douglas blocked by Lakovic.
Nice help side defense by Lakovic. I like the explosion, but better defense there.
Bacon all the way to the bucket.
And an the easiest basket that they've had in a long time for the Spartans.
Taylor Douglas off the dribble, gets the baseline, hangs in the air, finds Stavrev, left wing, no. And Bianco jumped too early. Bacon nearly hung up there against Whitlow.
I thought that was going to go in, and that would have been a nice opportunity for the Tritons to keep the Spartans on their heels, and now the Spartans have a chance to kind of make a little run, and a nice tough shot by Bacon in the lane. I'm not sure how he was able to get that over Whitlow's hands.
Bacon now with 15, pulls Tampa within 4. Tough spot there for Bianco to catch the ball right up against the sideline. Able to dribble out of it with 8 to shoot. Whitlow's not there. It's turned over. Tampa, Biffle cruises in and scores with the left hand, and Taylor Douglas called for a foul. Got him on the head, and a chance for Tampa to trim the lead to 1.
In a little bit, I mean, Whitlow saw that he was beat and kind of left O'Shane Taylor Douglas, and at that time just giving up the layup, less damage. So now all of a sudden Tampa turns the table, and the same script we saw in the first half is repeating itself in the second half. A game of runs, Tritons get out early in the second half, and now Tampa has answered it.
Free throw up and good, 41-40. Tritons lead trimmed by a 7-0 Tampa run. Cirillo back into the game, replacing Taylor Douglas. Whitlow inside, Radoncic working against Duncan. And Duncan stands his ground, no call. Tampa can take the lead on this possession.
A nice job by Duncan, fundamental defense there. He allowed the body contact to happen, but held his ground and kept his spot.
Bacon drains the step-back triple.
Pat Bacon's been a stud tonight. The one shining bright, star for the Spartans offensively. Just like that, a 12-2 run has given the Spartans a lead, and just when they looked like they were kind of struggling and on the ropes, they've come back, and I have a feeling that we're going to see a couple more runs from each team before this night's over.
30-second timeout. Tampa on a 10-0 run to take a 2-point lead, 43-41. Bacon has 18 points. Bianco with 16 for the Tritons. There really hasn't been another standout scorer in this game. Radoncic having the second best night of anyone. He has 8.
And it's a testament to the defense. I mean, the passing lanes are not open. They're not able to get to the basket, drive and kick. When you're looking at each possession, and it's both teams are working for everything that they get, and that's a clear sign. We see the lack of assists that both teams have had tonight. Only 9 assists total in the game.
Higgins inside Radoncic, good deep position, stripped cleanly though.
And that's where a little bit more awareness for Radoncic to know where the defense is and use that basket as a shield to protect himself from getting blocked from behind. He could have finished on the other side there. It was a great set, just couldn't quite get it to finish. Good defense by the Spartans to recover after getting beat.
Radoncic, good catch. Interior pass, Higgins scores.
And that's not an easy shot, easy catch. I mean, but Higgins made it look easy. Caught it with his left hand, transferred it to his right, and right over the top of the defense.
Biffle waves Bacon through and then throws it to him, and he choreographed the entire play for the Tritons defense. Cirillo. His three rolls off for Doncic. Back up with it, no. Bianco, no. Higgins, no. Bianco, yes!
And nice job staying with it. Now Bianco has a double-double.
Higgins breaks up the lob play. Whitlow's ahead of the pack. Bianco, oh, he dumped it off too late. Just a little late. Passed it behind him.
And nice energy level there. I wanted to see Travis get that ball up a little bit sooner and maybe get it back. He was filling the lane so well. He's so athletic and has the ability to finish around the basket. I think he gets it to the playmaker and gets it right back. You know, tough break there after a great defense. 2 back-to-back possessions where they're trying to just corral with great help side defense.
Lakovic looking inside. Bacon trying to break down Bianco. Duncan, tough catch, has to step away from the basket. Down the lane, Felder able to draw the blocking foul. I think Myron couldn't escape the circle.
That's a good call. He tried to jump and get to that spot before the contact was made, and it was a bang-bang play. Good call by the official and good attack by the Spartans. And, you know, couple transition. The Tritons can get out in transition. I think that's going to be helpful. You know, a couple steals, that help side defense. You're right on that last 2 possessions ago. The choreographed pass, there was nowhere there because the help side defense was so strong, but the Tritons couldn't capitalize on that fast break.
45-43, Eckerd leading. Free throws for Tampa when we get back on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Free throws for Tampa to try and even the score. 45-43 is the Eckerd lead. Ryan Halstead, Nate March, and producer Sydney here with you from up in the rafters above James Harley Court. First free throw is good for Felder.
Ten of 18, these free throws. You know,
that one spins out.
10 of 19 now, and just a tough go at it. Spartans are going to kick themselves if they can't capitalize on that charity stripe.
Taylor Douglas with the dump off for Doncic is fouled.
It's one of those where it's a great explosive play, great pass. I'd like to see the and one and try to get that finish around up above, but he obviously got hit hard. So once again, Mir making himself available, rolling and being a presence around the basket, getting those dump passes. He has a chance to join Travis as the only double-figure scorer.
Makes the first. Higgins replaced by Stavrev. Harris back into the game for Tampa, taking Lakovic's spot.
And without being in that foul trouble, that allows Coach Gillespie a little bit more flexibility in kind of rotating Stavrev or Doncic and Higgins together.
2-2 for Admir Radoncic, 47-44. Bacon looking inside. Duncan comes out top for the catch. Cirillo able to punch the ball free, but he stepped Oh no, it's off of Biffle. Cirillo able to force the turnover, a foul on Biffle.
Yeah, that was a great just anticipation, jump in the passing lane, and like I said, you nailed it earlier. Cirillo is just so active. He provides so much energy for this team, does so many little things. That was a heck of a defensive play, and then draws the foul on top of it.
Yeah, if he develops some off-the-bounce game, look out. He'll be a good one. He's a redshirt freshman, still has 3 years of eligibility after this. Taylor Douglas. Cirillo able to draw a foul on Duncan. That's 5 team fouls now on Tampa, getting closer to that bonus.
And they're getting beat off the dribble. I mean, they're now looking at some foul trouble. Lakovich with 4, Duncan with 3, Biffle with 3, Felder with 3.
Screen for Taylor Douglas. Radoncic not open on the roll. And just a clean takeaway by Biffle. Ripped the ball right away. And finds Bacon. Step back triple. Another one.
He's been steady, and he's been the one keeping Tampa in the game. His 4th 3 on the night.
He's a guy that can fill it up for sure. Inside, Radoncic traveled. He was under the rim.
And that's actually a pretty good play by Bacon. I mean, he was there, and he would have been in the restricted circle, and Radoncic was trying to kind of feel him out, and nice little play there, kind of a pull the chair out from under him type defensive maneuver there.
Felder walks the ball ahead. Bianco picks him up. Bacon's been sizzling. What's he got next? It's Harris. He's hit 2 threes. Off the mark this time, though, and Bianco way up there for the rebound.
That's a tough rebound, especially coming down, not landing on an ankle. You know, he's going aggressive.
Radoncic gets the roll and the harm.
That's going to be 4 on Duncan, and that's a tough play. And, you know, he elbows to ears. He didn't do elbow to ears. And Coach Schmidt being held back by his assistant trying to prevent. I mean, this is the type of thing where you get a technical foul that could really derail, especially when you're already next foul in the bonus. The technical foul would put the team in the bonus.
3-point play completed by Radoncic. He has 13.
So back and forth. It's a heavyweight fight right now you're seeing. Both teams have been able to answer as soon as the other team gets a little bit of a lead.
Duncan, wave it off. He's called for traveling.
Just a little bit of a shuffle.
Hagen's in for Stavrev. 9.5 minutes to go. Eckerd by 3 with the basketball.
So Shane Taylor Douglas going to handle some ball handling duties, see how well they can get into this offense.
Turnaround jumper well short. But Radoncic right there to stick it back up and in.
That's going to go in as an assist in the official score. I think O'Shane was trying to shoot it. Nice cleanup there by Radoncic, just being at the right place, camping out. He's such a hard body to move out of that lane that he gets some of those.
Bacon going high off glass. Shot wouldn't fall. Eckerd by 5.
You just kind of feel like the wheels are shaking right now for Tampa. It's only a 5-point game.
But now Bacon pokes the ball free, and he's ahead of the pack in stride for a lay-in.
And that man will refuse right now to let Tampa feel sorry for themselves or get down. Pat Bacon has been sensational tonight in keeping things going for the Spartans.
Bianco curling in, and Biffle fouled in.
Bianco really showing some great scoring.
That's 4 on Biffle now, too. To make it a 2-possession game. First one off the mark.
And Coach Schmidt basically, he hasn't subbed for Biffle. So Cirillo was wondering if someone's going to come get him. It looks like he was being taken out of the game, but he's still in the game, and Cirillo picks him up. So almost like he was trying to get him to look like he was taken out and hide him in the corner and see if he can get a cheap one. But nice job by Cirillo, and now he's playing with 4 fouls, so see what happens.
Bacon off the mark this time. Ahead for Myron Hagens. Harris taps the pass away. Bianco able to save it, and then gets out to the corner. Tosses in Radoncic against Baker. Wouldn't go that time.
Inside out, good move, good job coming under control. I would like to see him go back out, maybe either get it deeper or get a good 3, but good job by the Eckerd Tritons, stop him on defense.
Whitlow looking to make the entry. Admir. That time he did walk.
And it's one of those where, same thing, he did a good job being patient. He faked the pass. Throw it back out, get yourself deeper, and then get it back. Try to do too much and you force a turnover, or you cause a turnover. But Tritons have really kind of established a little bit of a momentum going on right now.
7:34 to go. We'll take a break on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network.
So, Audrey,
Kayla.
such a nice day. So warm today.
It's so beautiful.
So how are your classes going?
Good. Are you ready for the test?
Aiming for C++, but I think I'll get in there.
I can't believe it's
Yeah.
I'm picking 70.
70s. Wow.
.734 to go in the game. Eckerd up by 4. Tritons have been weathering a storm of Bacon, barraging them. Pat Bacon with 23. 8 of 15 shooting. He's been pretty efficient too. 4 of 6 from behind the arc.
And he didn't come in shooting a whole lot from 3-point range, but he's found him range there, and he's up over his season average. Almost stepped out.
Baker open, way too strong. Felder, an offensive rebound, goes right back up with the short jumper.
Nice rebound. A little bit of a scramble situation. Spartans got away with almost tiptoeing. It looked like that sideline could have been out of bounds, but a nice job getting that offensive rebound. And every time you score out of a timeout, that's a good momentum builder.
Whitlow turned it over. Bacon against Bianco. Got by him, scores, and will shoot a free throw.
Pat Bacon, the one-man show, keeping the Spartans. I mean, they're gonna need to carry him with how much he's carrying the rest of his team tonight out of this gym. He's been absolutely sensational, and without him, this would be a blowout.
Free throw good for Bacon. He's got 26, and Tampa leads 54-53. Eckerd, another 2.5-minute stretch without a field goal. Whitlow turns it over again on the baseline. And after a scramble, Lakovic comes away with it.
Malcolm struggled. He's 7 turnovers tonight, 0 assists, and you're going to have some of those growing pains as a true freshman, getting the minutes he's getting, and he still has the ability, can't get down on himself. He's going to be a factor down the stretch here. especially with how much the ball's in his hands. But right now you're seeing just some uncharacteristic, coming into the game averaging over 5 assists a game, and just struggling a little bit trying to do too much and getting caught up in some bad spots with some double teaming. But he's got to stay focused. We'll see what type of resiliency he can show, especially when the ball's going to be in his hands quite a bit towards the end of the game.
Lakovic misses again from 3. I do think that has to be a mistake in the box score, because, I mean, Whitlow had that assist in secondary transition to Cirillo.
Yeah, you're right. He absolutely did. That should have been.
So that three-pointer initially was miscredited to Taylor Douglas. So, yeah, they'll have to go back and add that assist in for Whitlow as well.
That's a great point, because that was definitely, cross-court paths. And unfortunately, because Travis took the dribble on the other, he could have easily gotten the second assist when he hit that pass right up the court. So, looking at someone who's obviously been very good passing and distributing the ball.
54-53, Tampa leading. Triton's able to avoid a run out there as Lakovic wound up pinning the ball to his hip and traveling. 5:40 to go. We'll see who's going to step up and bring the Tritons home. Bianco. And his post entry is out of bounds over the baseline, threw a skipping stone in there.
He was trying to get it around the defense, and a good job of coming across the top in front of the post. And it would almost, if could get one more dribble to open up that lane just a little bit more. Right idea, just didn't execute it. And Tampa now once again has a chance. And 5 turnovers in the last 3 minutes, and 3-minute scoring drought has really given the Spartans a chance now to build a little bit of a lead.
Lakovic, and he misses Baker.
And the Spartans give it right back. It is the gift of give. It's the season of giving, Nate. Yeah. It's definitely, that time of the season where, it's time to be selfless and give. And both teams certainly have done that in the last couple possessions.
There have been 11 combined assists in this game compared to 32 combined turnovers. Not a turnover there, though. Taylor Douglas puts the Tritons back in front.
And he's done a great job tonight getting to the basket, kind of getting off and beating his defender off the dribble, and a great finish there, especially on the right side with his right hand, on the left side.
And now Bianco jumps the pass. And Lakovic hammers him to prevent the lay-in, and I believe that is 5 on Lakovic. It is.
And I really like the aggressive take there by Travis. He has the ability to rise up and punch that down, and Lakovic was like, no layups. And I like the aggressive take, but you also wonder is, you're playing with 4 fouls. You obviously haven't filled up a lot of points, but you've got 6 rebounds. You play minutes for us. Now you're on the bench for 4.5 minutes. That could be a big loss for Coach Schmidt's bunch.
Well, I'm just noticing Zach Patterson, free throw made by Bianco. Patterson hasn't played in this game, and he's the guy who usually he was bouncing in and out for both Duncan and for Lakovic over the weekend, providing quality minutes. And so a little bit surprising not to see him in the game in this spot.
And Bianco now with 21, 7 of 12 from the floor. 15 rebounds. That's got to be a career high for Travis. And he, just like Bacon's been doing, he's been really dominant today for the Tritons.
Baker looks away the whole defense, and that ball's hung on the rim forever, and it comes off.
You almost thought it was going to get a really fortuitous bounce, and it just bounced out in a tough break there, and a fortunate break for the Tritons. Let's see if they can get back and put this into a 2-possession game.
Taylor Douglas throws it back out. Bianco midway through the clock. 8 to shoot. Into Hagans. Elbow jumper. Radoncic, no. Bacon pulls down the rebound.
Good piece of offense there, though. Love the post entry and a good pass by Hagans. Good looking shot, just couldn't get to fall.
And Bacon unable to finish, a rare miss for him.
Especially around the basket like that. Just great extension, just rimmed out, too much spin around the basket.
Double screen for Whitlow. Doesn't get the call.
Nice job by Duncan. I mean, same thing. He handled that very well.
This time Bacon all the way to the rim. We'll have a stoppage for a wet spot cleanup. It'll bring us to the under 4 timeout. 57-56, Eckerd with the lead in the ball when we return on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. .3:15 to play. Eckerd with possession. Ryan Halstead, Nate March taking you down the stretch. Eckerd with a 1-point lead, and Taylor Douglas bringing the ball forward. Whitlow playing off ball in the right corner. And Tampa slaps a double team on Taylor Douglas. And Eckerd calls timeout. So now both teams, I believe, Eckerd has 1 left. Tampa still has 2 left.
I like that. I mean, and that's what you see a lot. When you go into a timeout situation, you kind of give a different look defensively. Both teams, so in this case, you know, Tritons basketball, Coach Gillespie's going to draw up some offense, probably talk a little bit about defense after the possession, but this is where Coach Schmidt can throw something different and take them after, you know, especially in a game where they both played man-to-man defense the entire game. You haven't seen a trap like that. That's a nice piece of coaching by Coach Schmidt, and the Tritons had to force it, to use a timeout. You know, now you say, okay, guys, got to pay attention. And anytime you see, you got to be careful about being trapped in the corners like that. So the way to do it is try to get someone flash in the middle and try to go opposite or try to go with a skip pass.
Under 3 to play. Taylor Douglas splits the top of the defense and comes down the lane to score and a foul.
That's a pretty nifty move by O'Shea Taylor Douglas. Just under control. He's played very smooth today, and that was a good call. And now that's 4 on Duncan. And you look at it, just under total control, change of speed but long, and was able to finish up around the basket, especially on the right side when he's left-handed. Nice play there.
Baker called for the foul, so his first. It would have been the 5th on Duncan if they had given it to him. Free throw, no good. Radoncic over the back. The Tritons luckily have a couple fouls still to give.
That's one of those where it's kind of delayed. He did jump up, and just one of those, you know, I know Coach Bryant didn't like that on the bench, but it looked like he was so over them. But no harm, no foul.
Biffle briefly lost the handle. Radoncic recovers and blocks the shot.
And a nice job defensively by Radoncic. I mean, really comes over, helps, stayed high, you know, avoided the contact. And he hasn't always done that. You know, he is prone to get into foul trouble, and he's done it. He did a nice job on that play.
Tritons slap on a double team. Runner by Bacon, no. Radoncic the rebound.
Now he's also coming close to a double-double. That's his 9th rebound, and good piece of defense after the mismatch where he was on the guard, and nice job finishing the play.
Myron Hagan's bobbling the ball as he came down the lane. That pass ahead, Bacon, a good job just to secure it, and then throws it off Bianco to save possession.
Heads-up play there by Bacon. Just good job by O'Shane Taylor-Douglas being a presence to disrupt that run out.
59-56. Felder dumps it off. Duncan missed the shot. Offensive rebound by Felder. Goes back up with it and finishes. He's got a couple of tough putbacks in around the trees.
Good rebound in traffic, and then he kind of forced by looking away. The Tritons collapsed towards the passing lanes, and it opened up a little bunny in the lane.
Felder has 11. 3 for Hagens. Yes!
That's a big shot. Myron's been a little quiet tonight. Couple mishandled passes here, and just when you needed it, he hit it. Way to pop and way to knock it down.
4-point lead and an offensive foul.
And then he comes back after a huge three and draws the charge. That's a heck of a sequence there. You're looking for senior leadership. That's what you need. And he hasn't had a lot of opportunities. Only 6 shots from the floor, but we know he's capable of hitting that outside shot. And then to come back and shift, slide in, and basically get in position to take that charge. That's a huge back-to-back sequence there by the senior from Ocala.
Biffle fouls out only 3 points in 27 minutes in his return to the Tampa lineup. Now the clock is the Tritons' friend. There's just 82 seconds left. 2-possession game. If the Tritons can burn a little bit of clock and find a way to put it in the bucket here, they'll be in real good shape.
And I think you want to keep attacking. You can take a 3 here. You got some shooters out there, but you got to keep attacking. Be mindful of a trap. Be mindful of someone coming to jump. They didn't do it there, but trying to get the ball inside.
Bianco left the shot short. Radoncic gets the ball back, missed, and Tampa able to grab the rebound. And Eckerd does not get back defensively. That's the worst possible situation. A chance for a 3-point play.
Great opportunity. They just missed a couple shots around the basket. Good defense by the Spartans, but then what you saw was Malcolm trying to come up and disrupt the pass, and they didn't really see him, but once they got through him, it ended up creating a 3-on-1 situation for O'Shane Taylor-Douglas. Just too much, especially for the talented Bacon. So, best case scenario for the Spartans, worst case for the Tritons, and now it's a 1-possession game with plenty of time left.
Bacon has 29 points. It's a 1-point game.
Both
Tampa
teams
uses their last timeout here.
So, timeout. Tritons have 1 left, 51.5, and you're up 1. So you got to get something. You either got to get a foul or you got to get an open look. And it doesn't matter. I mean, you have players that can hit a 3. Sometimes it's always like, don't take the 3, try to get something to the basket. But at this level and with this type of shooting, so what you've seen, though, is in the last couple possessions, they've taken the ball out of Whitlow's hands and put it in O'Shane Taylor-Douglas. See if he can get something to the basket, and Whitlow's capable of hitting the shot. Bianco's capable of hitting an outside shot or freeing up Hagens. And then, of course, you've got Radoncic around the basket inside. So be interesting to see who's going to bring it up here. And then also, what does Coach Schmidt do in terms of the defense? Is he going to try to trap, or is he going to play straight man? So there you have it. O'Shane Taylor-Douglas is going to put Whitlow in the corner, kind of a 1-4 low. A high screen, see if they can get something going in the basket.
Doncic comes up high, never lands the screen. Hagens able to plant the screen there. Tough shot, rebound, batted around, still loose. Bacon has it. He doesn't have a timeout.
Oh, they have one left. It looked like they just changed it right as soon as they called it the last time.
One before.
It did. You're absolutely right. And
well, they knew, we didn't.
I like the setup, though, of what that play was. They try to set a 1-4 low, come set a high screen. O'Shane Taylor-Douglas has been successful breaking down and getting to the basket. That time, though, a second clutch, kind of took him out of rhythm. You saw Higgins popping. You had Radoncic rolling. Not a bad set, just couldn't execute. And a big rebound by the Spartans. So now, 26.6. I think it's always when you're down, you want to try to stretch this game. You want to get a shot up. If you're going to take some clock off, you want to get a shot, I think, no less than 12 seconds left, because you want to give yourself a chance to rebound. But at the same time, you score, you do not want to give them too much time. So it's always a good chess match here because you're down. So you don't want the last shot in the game. But at the same time, you've got to give yourself a chance to if you miss, stretch the game out by fouling and trying to extend it a little bit.
Yeah, especially down one. There's just too much that can go your way extending it. Shoot early. If you miss, you might get a putback. If you don't get it, you can foul, and at worst, you're still only down one possession. And,
I mean, you've held this, the Tritons to 40% shooting, so your defense has been there. And if you're a defensive team like they've established so far this season, then, score, make them have to come back and earn it and beat you on defense.
Bacon walks it through the center circle with 20 seconds to go. Taylor-Douglas up to guard it.
You can see Bacon's going to try to get the shot. I'd like to see some sort of screen and try to set him free.
Taylor-Douglas blocks it at point-blank range. Bianco will go to the free throw line.
And you look at the two difference in those sets. Obviously, Pat Bacon needs to have the ball in his hands. He obviously needs to get that opportunity, but there was nothing. It was just standing and watch. Whereas the previous possession, O'Shane Taylor-Douglas gets the high screen. It makes the defense have to adjust and move. That time, it's one-on-one, and O'Shane Taylor-Douglas, give him credit, big time. And now it's a double bonus. So Tampa's still going to have one more chance at it. I just don't like the setup there.
Front end missed by Bianco. Tampa cannot stop the clock. Makes the second. Tampa rushes it into Bacon. A three can win it. Felder. No, and Eckerd hangs on. 63-61. Felder's three goes awry at the buzzer.
I tell you, you're going to look at this game tape and you're going to see some great offensive play by Bianco, Radoncic, Pat Bacon. But I right there put the last minute player of the game, O'Shane Taylor-Douglas. That was two tremendous trips defensively that he did to finish this game, and especially making it tough on Pat Bacon, who was sensational tonight.
Taylor-Douglas rising up to block the three-point jumper by Bacon, and a little bit surprised there Bacon didn't try to go to the basket down one, that he settled for that. He's been hitting that step-back three all game, but that time Taylor-Douglas was ready for it.
And I think that, what the key there is that there is no, they don't create any more space for him. I mean, essentially, he just did one-on-one and everyone stood and watched him. I would have liked to see them to at least maybe get a pass, get a little bit of set, and then get the ball back in his hands just to make the defense move. The defense never had to move, and it was a straight one-on-one defensive match for a defensive player like O'Shane Taylor-Douglas, who has a great wingspan and can give up a little bit of room because he's got the wingspan to close out.
Bianco leads the Tritons with 22. Radoncic off the bench with 15. Bacon scored 29 on a night where Tampa needed at least 30 from him. Eckerd wins 63-61 to improve to 5-3, 2-0 in the Sunshine State Conference. They'll be back here for a big matchup on Saturday. Women and men will be hosting Barry. Kendrick Wilson and I will be bringing that one to you. For Ryan Halstead, I'm Nate March. Producer Sydney's got a big presentation tomorrow. Send some positive vibes her way. Eckerd pulls off the victory in the men's game tonight. Tampa with a sensational comeback in the women's game for the victory, 57-54. You've been watching Eckerd College Basketball on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Have a good night.